Good morning, everyone. So, today, um, I want to talk about a couple things. So, when in the back of my tongue, I had this huge lump, and it settled on the curve, right? And I put clips and all kinds of stuff. But before we get to all that, um, I want to talk about the initial sampling of the tongue. I don't care what anyone says. That is the most painful thing I've ever went through in my whole life. So they tried to send me home with nothing. And I was asking for something. And they gave me ibuprofen 800, which never even touched the pain. Nothing. So I go home, and well, I am, not working because I took the time off, to get this done. And I'm in the cab, and I'm crying all the way home, and the guy is telling me he's so sorry. And I told him this is very painful. It's beyond pain. My eyes were watering, so painful it was. So I get home, and somehow I fall asleep. I don't even know how. But I'm crying literally, probably in my sleep. I went early in the morning, and then it was like around probably 1 when I got up, and I was crying to God, please help me, please help me, please help me, and I need something, because it was so unbearable. They took out a chunk in that back, and so I hear chew a Benadryl. So I had uh, um, I did chew it, and they told me to take it with a piece of bread, and I did, and oh my gosh, it took away the pain. It was completely gone. And I didn't have to do anything again. So when it came to my surgery, they were trying to find the formula because my insurance wouldn't cover the gargle part. You don't swallow it, you gargle it. But I had a feeling it wasn't going to work anyway. They had a Nemi, but my insurance wouldn't cover it because it had water in it. So my daughter and the pharmacist came up with a formula without the water. And because I have a lot of allergies, I'm allergic to a lot of pain medications. They did it. They got the formula. Thank Jesus. And so they got that done, and then I told my daughter I need the Benadryl. So she got me a capsule Benadryl so I can open it or cut it and put it on there, which was life-saving. I would only use the gargle for my throat, but I really didn't need it. It was just the Benadryl. But I was taking an anxiety medicine at the time for that. So I had to take very little Benadryl, but just enough to coat the back of my throat. And I laid back on my anxiety medicine because I needed the pain relief. Plus, when I had the surgery, barbecue smoke, cigarette smoke, even being around it affected my throat. So I stayed away from all that for like 8 weeks. But I wanted to share that with you guys because there's a lot of people out there that's going through this, and it would really help. And I share it with a lot of people. But this way I get to share it with millions. So, so for years, I would ask who gave me that information because it didn't sound like Jesus, and they told me it was Notre Dame. So Notre Dame, when I got his autobiography, there was an epidemic in his time, and him and other people found the cure for it. But when he came back to give his family the antidote, they had all died. So he became a seer for the Lord, and he was one who gave all those messages that are so hard to figure out. So I just put that aside. But I just wanted to know where it came from. Also, too, later that day, I saw the angel with the dirty hands, and in his gown, And I said, what are you doing here? Because you're standing next to my bed. So right away I put my bed into the kitchen. I don't know how I knew, but I just knew. So I put it in the kitchen. And I had gotten weeks earlier to wash my bathroom in salt. To wash the walls, the tub, everything. And then my neighbor committed suicide. So I'm really glad that followed what I felt, and then what I heard. So when someone passes away, they can actually enter to, wherever. But also too, when this person moved in, I wasn't allowed to read my Bible, and I couldn't talk about religion at all, nothing, and I didn't. Once in a great while, I'd mention something, and he would mention, but don't forget, you're not allowed to belong to that religion. But he didn't. His mother was Catholic, full blood. But I just wanted to leave that with you guys. And then also to clutter. So a lot of people are going into minimalism. Just like living to just what you need, and then you can reach out like you need an entertainment, to wear clothing. But not only is it important to declutter your surroundings, but also your mind. So, this is what I'm going to leave with you. And I got this through meditation, and it totally makes sense. So when I started making these videos, I was releasing all the bad things that had happened to me. And then it also helped me realize where it was all coming from. And I had to eliminate a lot of things in my life. Even guilt and shame we talked about in some past videos, all that needs to be released. So once you give it to the Lord, right, that process in your life can start healing. But you can now hear clearly from Divine God, who is trying to speak with you guys. To give you leads, the actual specific work you should be doing. He'll take you to the right areas, to live in. It can change your whole life. So I wanted to share, because every time I meditate now, I've been repeating it. So the Lord wanted me to share these things. I was going to do it in individual videos, but he wanted them shared in this one. Okay, and then there was one more thing he just mentioned too. For me, what I used to do is allow others influence me, which you're going to learn who's doing it and who's not through the process. If you need to, you can discern the spirit. There was something that was happening to me a couple of weeks ago, and it was a lot, and so I kept hearing discern. So I went in the back of the Bible and I wrote out the 3 that it showed for that, but there's a whole lot more in there in the Bibles of discernment. But I wrote out just the one scripture, and then I read the whole entire chapter. Thank God I did, because I would have chose incorrectly. And I'm very thankful. That's why I always inform you guys that one verse is not enough to understand what he's trying to tell you in the chapter. And so these are very important. So if you see a scripture, look up the whole chapter and read it. And then pull that out where it may be applicable in your life. But that one scripture may be pointing to a totally different situation in that chapter. That's why it's really important that you focus on that chapter. And if you need more research, then you just, you research it from there. Ask God for the guidance. He will give it to you. I can't tell you how many times. Like the other day, I had this painting for my daughter, and he gave me Psalms 37. Cast your worries to the Lord. She had worry and anxiety, and it was so perfect because the one I made it for. So I get these visions. So it was the cave that the Lord came out of. It was all lit, and it was dark at night, and then it had these really cool flowers on them. I can show it to you real quick. Hold on a second. Here it is. This is the one I made for her. And he wanted Psalm 37. And that's what I putting that on there. It's on the back too. It's on 37. And if you have a chance maybe later today, you can read it. And I felt it helped too, like if you have an illness or you're stressing about something, you know, read that or listen to it. Okay? Alright, I'm going to leave you with that. God bless. Peace.